so nobody on, so this
Oh,
is spotlighting.
Are we
That's
good?
all right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'd like to call a special meeting of the Hingham Township Board of Trustees ordered on Friday, September 27, 2024 at 2:45 PM for the purpose of discussion, the possible approval for the purchase of a camera monitoring system. Call the roll. Asherle,
Here.
Engelmann,
Yes, here.
Sweattick here. Chief Sutner.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Mr. Pearl, thanks for coming.
Glad to be here.
We have had conversation in the past as to specifically the block camera system for the township. And we've done a considerable amount of research on this project. We've got pricing. We were kind of pushing it off until the first of the year with the new budget and see where we were at with that. Within the last couple of days, Flock has reached back out to Sergeant Schroll with an offer to essentially, there was almost a $7,000 cost for installation, permitting, and so forth, but they're going to waive that $7,000 if we move forward now. There's a 4 to 6 month timeline for the installation. And there's also an opt-out clause within the agreement that at any time prior to the installation, the township can opt out of the contract. So I know we've talked about it in the past. I will bring a couple situations to light that we have personally experienced with the cameras in the last couple of months, helping us with some issues. First, keep in mind that every community that surrounds us has flock cameras, as does most of the departments and communities in Medina County. Cuyahoga County, every community has them with the exception of one. Summit County is building up fairly steadily as well. Brunswick, Medina, Wadsworth, the sheriff's office, Seville, Lodi, all have it.
Montville.
And Montville. Thank you, Mike. What's that?
Richfield?
Yes,
And Richfield, yes. So everybody around us, Bath,
Richfield, Bath,
everybody
Brecksville,
has
Rocky
them.
Heights.
So in the last 2 months, we had two rather major incident. Well, one's a major incident. We had a young girl that was essentially abducted by her father. And we were in the process of an Amber Alert, calling in the child abduction response team for the county. And the officers that were working that day utilized the flock camera system from Brunswick to locate the vehicle, the direction of travel, and essentially a possible area where, the vehicle was at. The officers from the sheriff's office, Brunswick, our men and women were able to locate the vehicle. The father was taken into custody without incident, and the little girl was returned to her family, safe and unharmed. About a month ago, we had a call at the elementary school. They had just sealed and restriped the entire parking lot. And we had some folks that had their muscle cars and decided to go up to the school and do donuts all over the parking lot. So we have a brand new parking lot that's paved and striped, now has black swirl marks all over it, to the tune of about $7,000 worth of damage. We had a little bit of an idea of what we were looking for. We accessed the flock camera system again for, I believe it was Brunswick, located the vehicles coming through the cameras. We're able to obtain license plate numbers, identify those responsible, and they are now paying the school system back for the damage to the property. So we, that instance, we had a $7,000 savings to the taxpayers of, the Highland school system. I want to make sure that everyone understands that these cameras do not specifically run a license plate, as you may think they do. If I run a license plate as a police officer, the dispatcher, they run it, or we run it through our MDTs. It comes back up with who the vehicle owner is, where they live, their driving history, whether they're valid, whether there's a warrant for them. When Flock runs a camera, they run that license plate through the national NCIC system. So it doesn't come back with any of your information. It just comes back whether the car is stolen whether the owner's under suspension, whether it's an amber alert, a silver alert, a missing person, and then notifies the officers of that. And not to mention, then we have the ability to go back and check the system if we're looking specifically for a vehicle. And we can access that system only for a legitimate law enforcement purpose. It's not like we get to go in and just watch intersections or search intersections. Some of the information you have talks about flock, video, audio, the LPR system, which is what we're getting. The system that we're requesting does not do video, and it does not record, sound. So it's strictly still photos of a vehicle, license plate. That information is held within their secured system for 30 days, and then it's purged. So nobody can get into the system to get your personal information because it's not there. So that's what we're looking at right now. I think the savings to move forward with this is substantial. I know we've talked about it. It's an excellent tool for law enforcement. We've already proven its worth in the community, and I would like to move forward with this project. Mike, do you have anything to add? I will say that Mike has spearheaded this project and knows way more about it than I do. So if you do have questions, he's probably the one to
So
ask.
any piece of data that enters the system has a life cycle of 30 days, period.
Correct.
Okay.
And just to reiterate what Chief said, there is no live feed, like nobody can access, we can't live feed and look at the cameras as live. They simply are photographing a vehicle's license plate and the vehicle itself. And then we can search the database for a red Chevy or whatever, and it will show us all the pictures that match that identification. Provided you guys with a couple maps, the one kind of general Northeast Ohio map. You can see these key points are so overlapping in each other that you almost can't even see it, to represent the amount of cameras that are in the greater Cleveland area. It is kind of interesting. You can see kind of Hinckley's almost like a hole in that, a pocket of no cameras in that, but we are surrounded by them, especially up into Cuyahoga County and down towards Akron, but Medina County as well is filling in. The second map gives you an idea, or shows where the cameras are going to be placed if we move forward here in Hinckley Township. For the local neighboring jurisdictions, I wrote down just to give you an idea. Brunswick's got 10, Medina's got 10, North Royalton has 10, Seville has 6, Wadsworth has 12, Broadview Heights has 8, Lodi 6, Brecksville 22, Richfield 7, the Sheriff's Office of Medina County has 19, Montville 6, Bath 3.
So I support this. I support the flock camera, which we talked about it, quite a bit at the beginning of the year with it. My concern is, so this offer that they're giving us, this offer of a savings of approximately $7,000. Am I understanding that is only good, like, for this week, and that's why we can't do this on
So
Tuesday?
they emailed me that on Tuesday. I've been speaking and communicating with Flock since last September, which I was surprised to see it was last September. Obviously, we had discussion and had the rep here sometime in spring. Flock has followed up with me on a regular basis, asking what's going on, that type of thing. So got to the point where I wasn't so much checking their emails regularly because it was a lot of follow-up. So again, they sent me an email on Tuesday. I had spoke with them earlier in September. So Thursday, I opened the Tuesday email to find out that the the boss of our local representative was offering this opt-out clause, as he mentioned, in addition to covering 100% of the installation fees. And after talking to her on the phone, I believe yesterday, she explained that this is the end of their third quarter. So it is, and we communicated with Jack yesterday, we have until the latest of having a signed document to accept this on Monday, which is the last day of the month. So come Tuesday, And we even tried pushing them off to have this discussion with you guys and the board and the community on Tuesday night's meeting. She talked to her supervisor and they said, no, they have to have it on their books before September ends. So-
Okay, so my biggest concern is the optics of it to the community, that this is, a special meeting, we're having to discuss this. I don't want the appearance to be that we're pushing this through.
We have.
But if I am understanding you correctly, so please correct me if I am not, that if we agree to this for approximately 6 months, we can change our mind and there's no penalty fee. So we could agree to it, but then open it up to discussion to the community on Tuesday's meeting. And if for some reason something comes to light that we want to change our mind, we can do that.
Correct.
Okay.
And we have 100% opt-out.
They said even if they get the cameras in, basically the way I understand it is, our first invoice or bill will not be due until the system is installed, set up, confirmed to be running, and then we will receive our first invoice. They said even if they've installed the cameras and we haven't gotten that or paid that first bill, and we decide we want to opt out, they will come back out, remove the hardware, and we will not have any liability.
I'm much more comfortable knowing that we can have an open discussion with the community on Tuesday.
Agree.
I am,
You bring up a very good point, and I agree.
And I can appreciate, and I put a lot of thought into exactly what you've just said, Monique, that the optics of it to the community, I don't want anybody to think that we are going behind anybody's back.
right.
Because we're not. And I welcome anyone from the community to call us, call you. We'll explain it in more in depth, if folks they want that information. I know when we initially talked about this back in the spring, I think I received one email that I still have from a concerned citizen. And I think you got one or two.
I got a couple.
There
which
wasn't,
is-
and I appreciate everyone's concern about where we're at with technology now and, what that looks like for our personal lives and our personal information. But this is a tool for us. It's a tool for us to keep our community safe, and it's a tool for us to solve crimes that take place.
Mhm.
So I think it's important. And if I thought for one moment this compromised anyone's personal information or caused any type of an issue like that, I would not support it.
Or a privacy concern or anything.
Well, I still believe, sorry, not to come into this conversation, if you guys have anything to add, but I think that they are everywhere. They are in all of the surrounding communities. And I use that example of, I think I used the example in the spring of an abduction. And, someone were to be abducted and that would be a tool that we could use. And then that exact situation happened, that I think that the pros far outweigh the cons with it. And that is where I've been really from the beginning with it. But I am much more comfortable knowing that we can have an open discussion with the community on Tuesday about it. So it should definitely be an agenda item, so people see it prior to our meeting. So if
Right, and
anyone wants to participate.
I discussed that with them at length, and that's why we reached out to the company to see if we could do that. It wouldn't be prudent for us to pass up this opportunity at this point, especially in light of the fact that we can opt out. We can change our mind on this, but doing this lets us lock in that discounted installation. So
Agreed.
It's a substantial savings without
it's
question.
almost 30%.
So, that initial upfront cost for the installation is substantial. So,
And they did share, I gave to the board and we can have it available for Tuesday, just some of the information directly from Flock, some of their presentation that kind of answers some of the community concerns, security questions and how that works. So
Mhm.
I encourage you guys to look that over in the meantime.
there's a number of letters in your packets from area police chiefs outlining their support and the reasons that they got the camera system and some of the success that they've had with it since the installation as well.
Thank you. I will read this over this weekend, but I mean, I was supportive of it initially when it was presented, but I just definitely want to make sure the community is aware of it.
Absolutely.
You have a motion.
We'd like to make a motion, the approval of the contract with Flock Camera Systems with the understanding that the installation fees are waived and the township does have an opt-out clause all the way up until activation of the system. There is an option for 5 cameras or 6 cameras. I would like the 6-camera option at $18,000 a year for the service.
So moved.
Second,
Second, we'll do this, motion for resolution, because they're the cost and continuing service. So amended to a motion for resolution and
second as amended.
call the roll. Asherle,
Yes.
Engelmann,
Yes,
Sweattick, yes. All right, all
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
Do I need to take care of that?
You need the DocuSign document that they sent you a couple hours ago. That is what needs a signature or your approval by the end of the day, Monday.
Okay, very good.
so that would be resolution 2024-09-27-01.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Have a great rest of your afternoon.
I will move to adjourn at 3:02 PM.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.